that, abusive relationship back in the day.
I remember he instilled that fear in you that if you left him, he would hurt us.
The unfortunate thing of going through something like that, you just kind of feel like you're alone. Even though I was going through it and nobody else knew.
If you've been wondering why Christina Milian seems to be disappearing from the spotlight, the truth is finally out. And it is very sad. So, what happened? Well, Christina has been through a lot.
You had bruises and you were covering them up all the time. That was the hardest thing to go through.
Right.
I was watching you.
First, she was in an abusive relationship as a teenager, where a gun was even pointed at her head. Then came more rocky relationships with The Dream and Nick Cannon.
And on the real, I'm tired.
She's also had several feuds with other celebrities like Lil Kim and Rihanna. And let's not forget the public drama, like the time she allegedly got into a scuffle with a bouncer. It's been all kinds of messy for her. Let's dive in.
And I'm Cuban, so I come from Cuban descent, but Cuba is like a melting pot of just several different cultures, different places and faces.
Christina Milian was born in Jersey City, New Jersey. Her birth name was Christine Flores. She had Afro-Cuban roots, which means her family came from Cuba, and they were of African descent. Her parents were Don Flores and Carmen Milian. Later on, she decided to change her last name from Flores to Milian. She used her mother's last name instead because she believed it would help her get more acting jobs. Christina thought her new name sounded better for Hollywood. She was the oldest of 3 sisters. Her younger sisters were named Danielle and Elizabeth. Not long after Christina was born, the whole family moved to Waldorf, Maryland. When Christina was just 4 years old, she started showing a strong interest in acting. Her family noticed she was very good at pretending and performing.
My mom says she saw it early, of course, a parent. They recognize things, and now as a parent, I recognize things in my children, so I get it.
They believed she had real talent. Christina herself also felt that she wanted to be part of the entertainment world. She dreamed of being in movies and on TV. So her parents supported her and helped her chase that dream. When she got older, Christina and her family made a big decision. They moved to Los Angeles. She wanted to become an actress more than anything else. While in Los Angeles, she also dreamed of becoming a singer, but she didn't know how to start. She began working on Disney Channel as a host on a show called Movie Surfers. She used the name Tina on that show. After living there for about 6 months, she met a famous music producer named Rodney Darkchild Jerkins. He lived in the same apartment building as her. When he heard her sing, he saw her talent right away. They started working together. She began writing songs at age 17 because she needed to make a demo. She often didn't agree with producers, so she wrote and recorded songs on her own. Christina Milian shocked many people when she shared a very personal and painful story from her teenage years.
When, I was in that, abusive relationship back in the day.
For the first time, she talked about being in an abusive relationship when she was just 17 years old. She spoke about it on her reality show, Christina Milian Turned Up, during an emotional moment. The things she said were hard to hear, but very important. She told the truth about the fear, pain, and danger she lived through. Her story was not just about heartbreak, it was about survival. Milian shared this story while she was promoting an app called Stop Attack.
Stop Attack is an emergency assault app. You could record a moment where you feel that you are in need of help or that somebody else is in need of help, and immediately you can notify the authorities.
This app helps people who are going through domestic violence. It lets users choose 5 people to contact quickly in case of an emergency.
The photo campaign for Stop Attack is very simple. You write down on your hand what you want stopped in this world. You post the picture using the hashtag #StopAttackChallenge and challenge your friends to spread the word.
While talking to her mother, Carmen, about the app, Milian remembered one of the scariest moments of her life. She was at a gas station and tried to call 911 for help. But before she could speak, Her abusive boyfriend dragged her away by her hair. She was terrified and felt helpless. Even though she wanted someone to save her, she didn't know how to escape. That day stayed with her forever. Her mother, Carmen, also shared how painful it was to watch her daughter suffer.
I remember he instilled that fear in you that if you left him, he would hurt us.
Yes.
And because of that, you stayed in it.
Yeah.
Carmen said she remembered how Christina used to cover up bruises on her body so that people wouldn't see them. As a mother, Carmen lived in fear. She said she felt scared every day, worried that one day she might get a phone call telling her that her daughter was gone forever. Carmen also remembered how Milian's boyfriend told Christina that if she ever left him, he would hurt her family. Because of this, Christina stayed in the relationship longer than she should have. Her mother cried as she said it was hard to see her daughter living in fear and still staying with the man who was hurting her.
You had bruises and you were covering them up all the time. That was the hardest thing to go through. If she would have been able to tape him back in the day, we would have had evidence.
Later in the episode, Christina sat down with author and journalist Tanya Williams. She talked even more about what happened, though she never said her ex-boyfriend's name. She said she had never told anyone about that relationship before. She was finally ready to speak out, hoping it might help others. Christina explained that she met the boy when she was 17, about 2 years before she became famous. At first, she thought he was funny because he had a sarcastic way of talking. But over time, that sarcasm turned into something dark and mean. She didn't know it at the time, but he was slowly controlling her mind and making her feel small.
And the unfortunate thing of going through something like that, you just kind of feel like you're alone. Even though I was going through it and nobody else knew.
Christina said the abuse didn't start with hitting. It started with words. He would say things to break her down and make her feel worthless. He told her that she couldn't trust anyone but him. He made her feel like she couldn't do anything without him knowing. Slowly, she began to believe what he said. She felt trapped. She didn't feel like she could talk to her family or friends. She didn't know how to leave. It was like she was stuck in a cage, and he had the key. She also spoke directly to the camera in another part of the show. She said that being in an abusive relationship is like fighting for your life every single day. It's not just about one bad moment, it's about many bad days, over and over. You feel like you are trying to survive, grabbing onto anything that gives you hope or strength. It's a constant battle between fear and the wish to be free. The most frightening part of Christina's story was when she said her ex-boyfriend once played Russian roulette with a real gun. He put a bullet in the gun, pointed it at her head, and pulled the trigger. She cried while telling this story. She said looking down the barrel of a gun was the scariest thing she had ever gone through. She said it wasn't like in the movies. There was a real chance that she could have died in just 1 second. One click of the gun, and that could have been the end of her life. When asked how she finally left that relationship, Christina said something changed inside her. One day, she woke up and realized that her family only wanted to help her. She decided to stop calling her ex-boyfriend and didn't let him back into her life. It took a lot of courage and strength, but she made the choice to save herself. She knew she couldn't keep living in fear anymore.
It's technically a brainwashing kind of situation, and it takes a lot to rebuild back your confidence, everything, but you can do it. And, listen to that voice in your head that's telling you, that you need to leave.
Christina, who proudly said she is Afro-Latina. She once said people didn't understand that she was Cuban because of her brown skin. She explained that Latinos come in all colors, shapes, and sizes. Her family had light-skinned people and dark-skinned people. Some were short, some were tall, but they were still all Latino. She wanted people to know that your skin color doesn't change your roots or where you come from. She was proud of her background and wanted others to understand it better. In 2003, Christina met actor Nick Cannon while working on the movie Love Don't Cost a Thing.
I'm tired.
They started dating not long after they met. Christina and Nick were together for about 2.5 years. At the beginning, things seemed fine between them. But in 2005, Christina found out that Nick was cheating on her. That broke her heart. She decided to end the relationship. She didn't want to stay with someone who wasn't faithful. It was not an easy decision for her, but she knew she deserved better. She wanted someone who would love her and respect her. Talking about Nick. In December 2024, Orlando Brown went live on Twitch and said something shocking. He claimed that he had a sexual experience with Nick Cannon. Orlando shouted into the camera, "Nick, you sucked my DK." This video quickly got a lot of attention online.
You said that Nick Cannon gave you head.
Nick is also a pretty female too. He got things going on. It ain't just like that with Nick, bruh.
People started talking about it on social media. Many were confused, and some didn't know if he was telling the truth or just joking. Orlando has said strange things before, so people didn't know what to believe.
You have a great, Raymona Harvey is Busta Rhymes. This is his real name. Anybody can get on Facebook and look up Raymona Harvey and be like, yo, that's Busta Rhymes, yo, with no wig on. And be like,
Nick Cannon decided to talk about it on his podcast called The Daily Cannon. He strongly denied what Orlando said. Nick said, "I did not suck Orlando Brown's DK." He made it very clear that the story was not true. He also said he didn't take Orlando seriously. Nick said he found the whole thing more funny than upsetting. As a comedian, he said he likes jokes, but he also knows when someone is just trying to get attention.
But when you know that brother is truly in pain and crying out for help and really, I see when I look out, I'm like, oh, how did we abandon such a talented young dude and now we're laughing at him?
Nick also talked about Orlando's past problems. He said Orlando has been in trouble many times before. Orlando has been arrested and has had problems with drug addiction. Nick said he thinks Orlando is not in a good mental place. He said Orlando might just be trolling, which means saying crazy things on purpose to get people to react. Nick said he hopes Orlando gets help and feels better in the future.
You hear whether it's substance abuse, whether it's psychiatric disorders, just hard times, and he's not the only one, you know what I mean?
Even though Nick laughed about it on his podcast, he also showed some care. He said he was not angry, just concerned. He wants Orlando to be okay. Nick made it clear that he does not believe the story and does not take it seriously. The whole situation was strange, but Nick tried to handle it with humor and kindness. Okay, back to Christina. After the Nick episode, Christina tried to move on. In 2006, she started dating Andre Lyon, who was part of the music production group Cool and Doc Ray.
It's impossible to rap on.
Listening to Encore, and when I heard that part, it was just like, no, all we gotta do is just take that and just...
They had a strong connection, and they worked on music together. They dated for a few years, but in February 2009, they broke up. It seemed like their relationship had run its course. Even though it didn't work out, they stayed respectful toward each other. Christina was focused on her career and still believed in love, even after 2 breakups. Not long after breaking up with Andre, Christina started dating music producer The Dream in 2009.
Christina was married to the producer, The Dream, super producer, which means super a lot of money. And there's nothing wrong with that, girlfriend. So
it happened pretty fast. By May 2009, people were already talking about them getting married. That same year, in June, they had a big engagement party in Las Vegas. Then, on September 4th, 2009, Christina and The Dream got married at the Little White Chapel in Las Vegas. It was a private ceremony. Some reports said they planned to get married again in Italy and later have another ceremony in the United States with family and friends. A week later, they shared that Christina was pregnant with their first child. It should have been a happy time, but things didn't go as planned. Just 3 months after the wedding, Christina and The Dream separated. It was shocking to many people because everything seemed so quick. Their relationship started fast, and it ended just as fast. Soon, it became clear that there were problems. People started talking. Photos came out showing the Dream on vacation with his assistant while still married to Christina. That made things worse. Many people believed he had been unfaithful. There were also whispers and rumors that he was emotionally or even physically abusive toward her. Though nothing was confirmed publicly, the pain in Christina's eyes said a lot. Their divorce was messy and very public. Christina went through a lot of emotional pain. She had just had a baby and was now going through a separation. She was left to care for her child on her own, while also dealing with heartbreak. Some people started to speak up and say that the Dream had treated her badly. They said he wasn't kind, and that he tried to control her. Christina stayed quiet about the details for a long time. Maybe it was too painful, or maybe she just wanted to move on. But others were watching and wondering what really happened behind closed doors.
And that was the one thing that I dreamed about. I knew our relationship didn't work out, but like my goal was to make sure that we had a good friendship going.
Then in June 2024, more serious allegations came out. A woman named Chanaz Mangro, who used to work with the Dream, filed a lawsuit against him.
Man, listen, and we were discussing this yesterday as the news broke while we were up here, but the Dream has now been accused of rape.
She said he raped her, sexually assaulted her, and trafficked her for sex. She said he made her think he was going to help her music career. She believed he would guide her and protect her. But instead, she said he hurt her and took advantage of her trust. These were very serious accusations, and many people were shocked.
In her lawsuit, she says that he was controlling her life, forcing her into unwanted sex, and physically abusing her.
Chanaz said she was 23 years old when she met the Dream. He promised her a future in music. He said she would have hit songs. He even told her that she could open for Beyoncé on tour. She believed him. She thought he was helping her, but she said he used those promises to control her. The lawsuit said he forced her to do sexual things, often in violent ways. It also said he watched everything she did. He told her what to eat, who to talk to, and where to go. He didn't let her live freely. She described one night where he locked her in a dark room. He came in, had sex with her violently, left, and came back again to do it again. He told her to say that she loved him. She said she didn't want any of it, but she was scared. On another night, she said he raped her in the back of a van. That same night, he also made her do sexual things in a movie theater. She said he recorded her during these acts and used the videos to scare her into staying quiet. He told her that if she ever spoke out, he would ruin her life.
She also accuses him of sex trafficking. And she said, what Dream did to me made it impossible to live the life I envisioned for myself and pursue my goals as a singer and songwriter.
The lawsuit also said that the Dream gave her a lot of alcohol, even when she didn't want it. He poured it down her throat. She said he refused to use protection during sex and would do things that made her feel powerless. She also said he strangled her during sex, and once she almost passed out. It was all very dark and painful to read. These were not just small mistakes. These were deep and serious actions that hurt someone deeply.
Right, she did end up getting a deal, and her deal was at Epic, but then she later got dropped because no music was ever turned in.
According to the lawsuit, his record label and even Epic Records knew about his behavior. The lawsuit said they did nothing to stop it. Chanaz's lawyers said this showed how the music industry sometimes protects powerful men instead of protecting the people they hurt. They said what happened to her was horrifying. Her career was ruined. She never got paid for the songs she worked on. She couldn't even restart her career because he blocked her chances. Also, back in 2003, there was a big argument on how Christina Milian said she helped write the lyrics for a song called Magic Stick.
I got the magic stick. I know if I get licked once, I get licked twice.
This song became very popular and was performed by rapper Lil Kim and 50 Cent. When Milian made this claim, it caused a lot of drama. Lil Kim did not agree with her, and the two started feuding. Fans and people in the industry began talking about it. Many wanted to know who really helped make the hit song, but there was more to the story. 50 Cent, the famous rapper who was also on the track, later said something surprising. He said Magic Stick was never meant for Lil Kim at first. He actually wrote the song for another rapper, Trina. He said he created the beat and the lyrics just for her. But when Trina and her team worked on it, they didn't do a good job. According to 50 Cent, they messed up the song and it didn't sound right.
Because even the songs that I missed the album that I recorded, like past it, like Magic Stick worked for Lil Kim. I got the magic stick. I know if I could hit once. These were ideas that I had developed for Get Rich or Die Trying and didn't make the cut.
After that, 50 Cent didn't want the song to go to waste. Someone from the record label, Atlantic Records, stepped in. His name was G. Robertson. He heard the song and told 50 Cent that Lil Kim should do it instead. Robertson believed that Kim was the right person for the song. So 50 Cent gave it to her, and they recorded it together. The song became a big hit. Even though 50 Cent was happy with the final result, he later said it still didn't have the same kind of sexy style that Lil Kim had when she first became famous with help from the notorious B.I.G. Things later got worse between Lil Kim and 50 Cent. At first everything looked fine, but then they started having problems. In 2003, 50 Cent did a freestyle rap on the radio and said he didn't want to shoot the music video for Magic Stick. Lil Kim got upset about that. He rapped that she got emotional, but he didn't care. That made the feud worse. Lil Kim didn't stay quiet. On her next album, she put out a song called Spell Check, where she dissed 50 Cent.
Me and 5-0, I don't see him in the club, cause he out in CT with a dick in his butt. Y'all stay OT.
And then we have the rumors that Christina Milian and Rihanna had problems with each other. People said they had a fight over the same man they both liked. This caused tension in the music world. Even though the two singers never confirmed the story, many fans believed it. The story spread fast, and it made people think they didn't get along. This rumored fight also made it harder for them to work together or be seen as friends in the industry. When two artists are said to be fighting, it often makes other people choose sides, which can hurt both of them. Around the same time, Milian had another big moment in her career. A song called SOS was offered to her first. At that time, she was working on her third album called So Amazin'. She listened to SOS and said it didn't match the rest of her album. Because of that, she said no to it. Later, the song went to Rihanna. Rihanna recorded it, and it became a big hit. SOS reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and also did well on other charts. It even became platinum in the US, and it was popular in Europe and Australia too. Looking back, saying no to SOS may have been a big mistake for Milian. She hadn't had a hit since her song Dip It Low in 2004. After turning down SOS, her career started to slow down. She was later dropped from Def Jam Records. Some people said the company had money problems, but others believed they were unhappy with how her music was doing. SOS might have saved her spot on the label if she had kept it. That wasn't the only hit song Milian passed on. Early in her career, she helped write the song Play, which ended up going to Jennifer Lopez. The song became popular. Milian also turned down Justin Bieber's hit song Baby from 2010. She was offered the chance to use it, but she passed. Later, the song became a huge success. She also turned down the song Walk Away, which Paula Deanda recorded. That song also became a hit. Another song she gave away was Sexy People. She let another singer named Lolene record it because Milian said it didn't show where she was as an artist at that time. In 2011, Milian had a legal fight with her ex-husband, The Dream. They argued about money from the Justin Bieber song, Baby. Both of them were writers on the song. Milian wanted more of the money the song made. This became a public issue, and news outlets reported on it. The money from hit songs like Baby can be a lot, so the fight was serious. In the end, it showed that Milian still wanted credit for the work she had done, even if she had passed on the chance to sing the song herself. In 2018, Milian was also in the news for a different reason. After a Bruno Mars concert, she was at the Figueroa Hotel Bar in Los Angeles. A fight broke out between her group and a bar bouncer. Someone said Milian threw a drink at the bouncer. Her team said she didn't throw anything, and that the bouncer was actually rough with one of her friends. No charges were filed, but the city attorney asked her to come in for a talk. They just wanted to make sure that things like that didn't happen again. It was more like a warning, not a punishment. Christina had talent and many chances, but turning down songs like SOS and Baby may have hurt her career. She also had a few public fights that made headlines. Still, she kept trying to stay active in music and entertainment.